What's up, guys? GameNut here, and welcome back to my NFL regular season predictions. Week 13 now, pretty much in the fourth quarter of the season. The postseason's going to be here before we know it, man. But let's, of course, go ahead and take a look at last week to see how well we ended up doing. And as you guys can see, man, we had ourselves another bounce-back week after not doing so good the previous week. And actually, I think this is the best we've done so far this season, man. The most games guessed correctly in a single week. We got 12, man. 12-4, I'd say, is a pretty solid record. And those 4 games, obviously, you know, they could have gone either way, man. We were pretty close with the other couple of games that we did get wrong. But as you guys can see on the other hand side as well, though, Madden 21, as you guys know, they've been pretty bad with their predictions up until this point of the year, man. But out of nowhere, they go ahead and match us and also get 12 games guessed correctly. They went 12-4 as well, with, you know, a couple different games guessed differently between the two of us. So that's always kind of funny to see. But yeah, man, 12-4 for the both of us this week. We still have ourselves a pretty comfortable lead over Madden 21, though, with just a few weeks left to go until the season's over. So moving on into our schedule for week 13 now, we have our last 2 teams of the season on a bye this week, which is also pretty late at this point of the season. We have ourselves the Buccaneers and the Panthers that will be resting this week. That could be a big help to the Bucs, man, with playoffs being right around the corner. But as we head on into our Sunday games now, first one on the list is a good one, man. We have ourselves a battle in the AFC with both teams sitting at an 8-3 record. We have the Cleveland Browns taking on the Tennessee Titans. Man, I think that this is honestly going to end up being a pretty good game. Obviously, both of these guys really want their win for different scenarios. The Browns are fighting for a wild card spot. I don't think they're going to pass up the Steelers at this point. And the Titans, obviously, they're fighting for their division, trying to lock that down. You guys know the Colts are right on their tail, however. But a win would matter for both of these guys. They both really want it bad. And honestly, which team do I think is going to come out on top, man? I think it's going to have to be the Tennessee Titans. Okay, obviously being a fan, of a team in the AFC, I really wish both of these teams would lose. I don't want to see either of them win because, my team's still fighting for a wild card spot at this point as well. But I know I've been throwing around the term a lot this year saying fake good football teams, and I've been putting that term a lot on the Titans, which it's still just the thing that blows my mind is the fact that they're doing well with Ryan Tannehill at quarterback. That doesn't make sense to me because he's Ryan Tannehill, man. Okay, I mean, they've pretty much just been running off of their defense and Derrick Henry, I feel like. But the same situation for the Browns. I don't know. I feel like they've been playing decent, but they've also not been playing the best football teams. They also been getting wins barely by the skin of their teeth. I mean, they almost lost to the Jags last week, man, which I was rooting for them. They were so close. The Jaguars almost did it for me, man. But for this game, like I said, I do think the Titans are a better football team. Once it comes down to the playoffs, I think Tennessee will be able to actually move a little bit further into the postseason, whereas the Browns, once they get there, I really couldn't see them moving past the first round, to be honest with you guys. But for this game, I think we're going to have to roll with the Titans getting win number 9. Next up, we have the Las Vegas Raiders, who are now 6-5 on their season, going to take on the New York Jets, who still have a 0 in the win column and 11 losses on the year. Man, just craziness. Obviously, for this game, we're going to be going with the Raiders to get the easy dub. I feel like, it wouldn't be really ideal for them to drop another game after they lost the past couple against a team that literally hasn't won at this point of the season, especially when they are literally trying to fight for a wild card spot themselves. So the Raiders, I think this is definitely a sure case that they're going to be getting the win over the Jets, which, by the way, also last week I called that game upset alert against the Falcons. I saw them coming out on top, man. I definitely didn't see them putting up as many points as they did, but that was nice to get the upset alert last week. But obviously for this game, we're going to be going with the Raiders getting the win over the Jets. After talking about the Jets with 0 wins on the season, we now have the Jaguars with 1 win on their season and 10 losses. They are going to take on the Minnesota Vikings, who are now sitting at 5-6 on the year. They are obviously trying to turn things around, man. I think there's still hope for them left of this season. They've done a good job bringing the season back almost to 500, which I think after this week, we could say that they have done. I think the Vikings are obviously going to get the win here, go at 500. They'll be 6-6. I don't really see them losing to a team like the Jaguars, who only have 1 win on the season, which, again, like I said, the Vikings, they're obviously a better football team, and they've got more that they're fighting for at this point of the season for themselves. So going to be going with Minnesota to pick up the win. And now the team with 2 wins on their season, the Cincinnati Bengals, who sit at 2-8-1, going to take on the Miami Dolphins, who are now sitting at 7-4. And man, I'm still kind of impressed and surprised that when I see the Dolphins, man, they just kind of popped off out of nowhere in the middle of the season, and they're starting to make a run, man. And obviously for this game, we're going to be going with the Miami Dolphins, man, the hot team that's been playing really well. If Joe Burrow was healthy and playing this game, man, I don't know. I definitely could see Cincinnati winning. I feel like it would be still hard to pick them to win, but obviously increased odds if, the man Joe Burrow was there. But the Dolphins, they're fighting for that wild card spot as well, man. The AFC is very tight, I feel like, this year, coming around to the postseason. A lot of teams that are very close trying to get those wild card spots, man. But the Dolphins, I think they're easily going to secure a win here this week against the Bengals. And now AFC South divisional matchup, we've got ourselves the 7-4 Indianapolis Colts going to take on the Houston Texans, who are now sitting at 4-7 on their season. Texans obviously would love to play the spoilers here and give the Colts a loss, making it that much harder for them to get into the playoffs. And obviously you guys know the Colts, they're right there on the cups as well, man. Another team in the AFC that is just right up there. A lot of guys fighting for those wild card spots, man. Only so many to give out. Obviously for this game, man, I feel like we gotta stay with the Colts. We gotta stay with the better football team. I definitely can see the Texans giving the Colts a loss and making it harder for them to, make that playoff push, but I just don't see it happening, man. I know the Texans have been playing well, and obviously they played very well on Thanksgiving against the Lions. Deshaun Watson had himself a very nice game, but I don't know, man. As well as the Colts have been this year, as good as their defense has been, I just feel like I can't see them digging themselves in that kind of a hole and losing against the Texans here, man. So I feel like we're going to have to pick the Colts. Now, NFC North divisional matchup, we've got ourselves the Detroit Lions going to take on the Chicago Bears. Obviously, both of these teams, their seasons are pretty much over. There's no chance of making the postseason at this point. The Lions sitting at 4-7, Bears sitting at 5-6. And after this week is over, I think both teams will be sitting at 5-7. So that means I'm going to be going with the Lions to get the win for this game, man. I definitely think that the Bears have a very good shot, though, man. I feel like I should pick the Bears just because of the fact that I think their defense, still is good enough to carry them to a win, and especially in a game like this. It's just, when I see Mitchell Trubisky being the quarterback, I can't pick him. Like, it's just, I cannot pick an offense that is going to win against the team. If you've got Mitchell Trubisky, man, I'm sorry, I can't do it. So I definitely think, like I said, the rest of the team can get it done against the Lions. But I don't know, man. I feel like I can see Detroit coming out on top. So I'm going to be rolling with the Lions to get the win here. And now an NFC South divisional matchup game. We've got ourselves the New Orleans Saints sitting at 9-2, going to take on the Atlanta Falcons, who are now 4-7. And man, once again, fellas, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to go with the upset alert, taking the Atlanta Falcons to get the win over the Saints, boys. Going upset alert with the Falcons again, man. Listen, hear me out, though, okay? The reason I'm doing this, you guys have heard me say this plenty of times, divisional games are always played differently, man. Doesn't matter if the team's got a good record, a bad record. They're used to playing each other, man. They're always a lot more hard-fought, contested games. So, obviously, the Falcons, I think this is going to come down to being a one-score game, and I think Atlanta is going to come out on top, man. And it's just because I feel like since Taysom Hill has been at quarterback for the Saints, man, the offense is just, it's not that good. It's slower, okay? There's not as many offensive yards and touchdowns being scored as if Drew Brees was in there, which obviously, makes a whole lot of sense, but still, Taysom Hill, he's not as comfortable being in that offense, and he's not as fluent with it. So I think the Falcons are going to be able to take advantage of that, and I know obviously the Saints, defense has been phenomenal this year. The Falcons defense has been questionable, but I don't know, man. I think with those pieces being there, I can see the Falcons getting that upset win over the Saints this week. Now heading into the later games of our Sunday, and first up, we've got ourselves the New York Giants, who now sit at 4-7 and also did just lose Daniel Jones for I'm not sure how long, could be the rest of the season, considering there's only 5 games left to go. And the Giants, obviously, they're still trying to fight for that playoff spot, winning that division of the NFC least, but I don't know if that's going to happen, man. We'll have to wait and see. They obviously this week, however, they're taking on the Seattle Seahawks. They are at 8-3. And obviously, the clear-cut winner here that we're going to be taking, man, is the Seahawks, okay? Obviously, like I said, the Giants, they still have a chance to win that division somehow at Week 13 at 4-7. It's craziness, man. NFC least football, you got to love it. But I could not imagine seeing them get a win over the team like the Seattle Seahawks right now, especially without Daniel Jones. I mean, even with him, I feel like the odds would not be that good. But without him, obviously, Seahawks, I think it's an easy win for those guys. A now divisional matchup in the NFC West. We've got ourselves the LA Rams sitting at 7-4, going to take on the Arizona Cardinals, who are sitting at 6-5. Obviously, both of these teams are hoping the Seahawks have a little bit of some hiccups at the end of the season here, so either one of them could get first place, but I don't see that happening. I think Seattle kind of has that lockdown for first place in the division. So I think both these teams, they're fighting for that wild card spot, man, and I really feel like only one of the guys are going to make it out of these two teams. And honestly, I feel like not only which team is going to, take that wild card spot, I think is going to win this game as well. And I'm going with the Arizona Cardinals, man. I think that after this game, both teams will be 7-5. And I honestly just feel like the Cardinals are a better team than the Rams, man. I don't know. Rams, most of their wins at this point of the season have been against the worst division in football. So that's kind of some red flags there. That means most of their wins haven't even been against that good of football teams. And, like I said, it's division games. They could be a lot closer here. This could be a lot hard fought. And the Cardinals, man, they always at the very, they're always losing by one score. So they're coming up just short of most of their games this season, man. So I don't know. Like I said, I think they're a better team than the Rams. So I'm going to be rolling with Arizona to get this win. This should be a pretty interesting matchup as well. We've got ourselves the New England Patriots, who are now at 5-6 on the year. They are still hanging around, man, fighting here at the end of the season. They are going to take on the LA Chargers, who are sitting at 3-8, which they pretty much are done at this point, cannot make the postseason. However, I think that this week the Chargers are going to play the spoilers for the Patriots and put a hurt on their chance for making the playoffs at this point, man. So I'm going to be going with the LA team to get the win. I know the Patriots the past couple of weeks, they've gotten a few wins. What is it, like at least 2 or 3 wins in a row, I believe. But I don't know, man. New England, they're obviously not a great team that's going to, if they were somehow able to make it to the playoffs, they wouldn't go very far. It's just, like Cam Newton, just in that offense, it's weird, man. Like every game, he has like 12 pass attempts and completes like 5 of them. It's just the offense doesn't move very well for the Patriots, man. It's just kind of weird. So I think the Chargers, I'm going to be rolling with them to get the win this week. Now sitting at 3-7-1. Man, I know the Eagles are just not a great football team. They've got a lot of pieces missing, but I just feel like Carson Wentz, he's not the answer, man. He was a one-hit wonder. I feel like it's time to move on from him. Anyways, they're going to take on the Green Bay Packers this week. They obviously are very successful this season, as always with Aaron Rodgers just being Aaron Rodgers. They are sitting at 8-3, like I said. And I think after this week, man, they are going to be moving on to 9-3. I think this is a pretty easy call here that we're going to be rolling with Green Bay to be getting that win. The playoffs, they're right around the season, man. They're a great team. I think, they want every win that they can to, better their positioning, seed-wise when it comes to the playoffs. So I think they're going to be getting an easy win over the Eagles this week. And now for Sunday Night Football, we have an AFC West divisional matchup. However, I feel like it's not going to be very divisional-esque when it comes to watching the gameplay, man. I don't think it's going to be a very hard-fought game. We've got ourselves the Denver Broncos now at 4-7 on the year, going to take on the Kansas City Chiefs, who sit at 10-1 on the season. Obviously, Kansas City, we're picking them clear-cut winner of this game, man. Couldn't really see them losing against a team like the Broncos. Not even sure if all of their quarterbacks are back yet from the COVID list. I believe they are. I'm not sure, though. It could be the wide receiver practice squad guy that could be starting once again, man, which that was craziness to see, man, to watch that happen in an NFL game, man. But obviously, like I said, despite, even if they actually have their starting quarterback, man, I think the Kansas City Chiefs will be getting the win pretty easily here this week in Sunday Night Football. And now finally moving on into Monday Night Football, which we do have a double header, so that's always fun and exciting to see. First of the two, however, we've got ourselves the Washington Football Team, who sits at 4-7 on the year. They are going to take on the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers, who sit at 11-0. And I'm doing it, man. For this game, I don't care what anybody says. I'm doing it. I'm taking the Washington Football Team to get the upset win over the Steelers, giving them their first loss of the season, man. Okay, hear me out. Obviously, the Washington Football Team, you guys know their defense has been playing pretty phenomenally this year, man. They're really good. And I don't know, I feel like Alex Smith, he's starting to find his groove, man. He's coming back. He's gaining his confidence back. And the football team, obviously, I think they're going to be getting first place in that NFC East with that 4-7 record, man. It's still crazy to see, but I definitely think when the end of the season rolls around, it's going to be Washington getting first place for them. And I don't know, man. I can see them getting that upset win over Pittsburgh this week, man, because I just do not think the Steelers are a very good football team at all. Like, just every single week when you watch them, they struggle against who they play. The referees help them so unbelievably bad every single week. It is just disgusting. The referees might as well be wearing yellow and black uniforms. I just can't believe it. Last week, Wednesday Night Football, which, by the way, that was a fun game to watch my Ravens, man. I'm super proud of them. I wasn't expecting to get a win. I wasn't expecting it to be a one-score game whatsoever. I thought we would get destroyed. because we were pretty much a practice squad heading into that game. So the fact that it came down as close as it was, you know, like I said, I'm proud of my Ravens, man, for fighting as hard as they did. And it just goes to show you, the Steelers, as much as they struggled against us, as much as they have struggled against other not good teams throughout this season, as much as they have need the referees to help them, man, it's just, I don't think the Steelers are good, man. I think they're a terrible undefeated team. When it comes to the playoffs, I think any of the top teams in the AFC will take them down. The Chiefs, the Bills, the Titans, all of them, man. Okay, I don't believe in Pittsburgh whatsoever. I think they're frauds at this point. And so my rant is over. Anyways, the Washington football team, man, I believe in you guys. Prime time on Monday night. Take down the Steelers, man. Give them that first loss. And now game number 2 for our Monday night doubleheader. We have the Buffalo Bills sitting at 8-3, going to take on the San Francisco 49ers, who are now at 5-6 on the year. And for this game, man, I think it's pretty safe to say we are going to be taking Buffalo to get the win here, man. They've been playing very well this season. It's pretty clear that they're pretty much going to be getting first place. I know that the Dolphins, you know, they're creeping right behind them, though, man. There still is that chance that the Dolphins could take first place in the division, but I think that they're pretty much going to be easily getting the win here against the San Francisco 49ers, man. Their season's pretty much wrapped up. They've got tons of injuries. I would say, you know, if this was the healthy, normal 49ers team, this would obviously be a much better game, and I think the Niners, you know, would have a good chance. But in the situation we've got right now, man, I think the Bills, they're going to be getting the win. And last but not least, we now have Tuesday night football, another odd night of football featuring my Baltimore Ravens, all thanks to that one guy giving COVID to my entire team. We love that guy around here. We have the Dallas Cowboys at 3-8 going to take on my Baltimore Ravens, as we are now sitting at 6-5 on the year. And my Ravens were easily going to be getting the win over the Cowboys here, man. It is comeback season. It is crunch time. We've got 5 games left on the season. And when you guys see the teams that my Ravens play, man, it is doable. Okay, we should win out at this point of the season, man. We got to turn things around and turn up so we can get that wild card spot, man. Okay, I expect, honestly, no less than 10-6 for my Ravens. I think we should go 11-5, but we've got a good start here, man. Playing the Cowboys, you guys know they're not that great of a football team. Their season pretty much over. They've got plenty of injuries that they dealt with. But like I said, man, this should be a very easy win for my Ravens, especially after, you know, all the adversity they went through last week, man, fighting so hard for that win against the Steelers. They did fantastic. We're going to be getting a lot of guys back from COVID on top of it, so I think this is a pretty clear-cut, easy win for my Ravens. But that is now going to do it for my predictions for Week 13, fellas. I hope you all enjoyed. I know this one was, once again, a little bit longer, but we're coming down to the wire, man. Crunch time, only a few games left of this season, and there's just a lot going on in the football world, man. There's a lot of scenarios to talk about and just a lot of football discussion to be had, I feel like, man. So, like I said, man, the NFL coming down to the wire. We've got a lot of good games this week, man. Got a lot of interesting scenarios, seeing who is going to come out on top, you know, fighting for those wild card spots, man. Who's going to be the teams making it to the postseason this year, man. There's still a lot left up in the air, obviously. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, man. Enjoy some football this week, as, you know, there's not a whole lot left to be watched this season. So, anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy, man. If you did, be sure to put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and I will catch you all in the next one. Take it easy, guys. Peace out.